Grand Rising, loved ones. Welcome back to another episode of Healing Wisdom with me, your favorite spiritual advisor, Empress Oracle. So, today is a special day. Today is my dad's birthday, and I figured what better day to talk about raggedy fathers and the effects that they have on their female daughters. This right here is coming from personal experience, okay? So this is this is a part of my healing, and I hope that it can be beneficial towards others, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of females and hell, probably some males as well that can relate to this with appearance. Hopefully my story, my experience helps, because that's what it is. That's what it's turned into now. Healing wisdom, okay? So basically, my father has not been a father to me. That much I can say. I can call him my father because, he wasn't just absent. So I will give him that. He was there in the early portions of my life. However, all the memories that I have are mainly negative, I'm going to say. They're not good memories. When I was younger, I would say we had a good relationship. But I think as I got older and, once you get older, you start seeing people for who they really are and stuff. And I've always been a wise person. I was a very wise child. I just started noticing things, and I definitely noticed the difference with how he treated me compared to his sons, Now, I don't know if that's because I am a product of that was made outside of his marriage. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I'm not sure. I do know, however, he has a horrible relationship with his daughters. I'm not his only daughter, so I am the one that's going to speak up, though. However, I don't care. I'm going to speak my truth. So with that being said, in my younger years, whenever he would come pick me up, I do recall he would come and pick me up and go see his side bitches and shit. You know what I'm saying? Have me waiting in the car, real talk, before we went on about our way. Always. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Can't take that from him, but that's the example that I grew up seeing from my father, and then he would take me to his house with his wife and my brother or brothers, whoever was there. And I will say, I do respect that lady. I give her the utmost respect, because I don't know how their relationship goes, but she never treated me horrible. She was never horrible to me. She did, once or twice try to say some slick shit, but I was born with this mouth. I was born with this mouth. So, we may have had words once or twice, but nothing major. It was handled. However, I do recall one time she made note to tell me that he's gonna have more time for his sons. Basically, he doesn't have time for me. I remember, not in those words, but I remember I was maybe 8 or something, and we were at Burlington Coat Factory, and I got an orange and black Halloween themed color coat, and I thought I was popping. I remember though, she told me that in Burlington, and that's when I started to take note and pay attention, because anytime I would ask him for anything or say I needed time or something, he always told me he couldn't do it because he had to do for my brothers, I remember that so many times as a child. So therefore I stopped asking. I guess that's when my independence journey started, because I'm hella independent now, but I remember that. And so I just was like, damn, I never felt any way towards my brothers and stuff. I loved them dearly growing up. Unfortunately, I did not spend a lot of time with them. I don't know any of my family from my father's side, except for my brothers and my sister. The few memories that I do have with my siblings from my father's side are good ones. I know they love me and I love them. I know we don't show it, but that's just because we don't know each other. Shit happens, I never felt any type of way towards that. I do know I always had struggles with my father growing up, because I've always been the type to stand up for myself. I'm naturally an introvert. I have extrovert tendencies, but I'm an introvert. I like to keep to myself. But I also like to fight. Or, when I was younger, I used to fight a lot. And I remember whenever I would get in trouble, if I would have to call my father, before he even asked what happened or anything, he would automatically go to telling me how I'm a disgrace. Jamaican girls don't act like this and rah, rah, rah. Not even, trying to figure out. First of all, I'm the type of person, if I put my hands on somebody, they did something to me, they deserved it, and I'm defending myself. But he never took the time to inquire to any of those things. He just always had his assumptions about me. I was labeled, I guess, his rebellious child or whatnot, because he said his sons listened to him. He didn't have these problems with them, X, Y, and Z, whatever. That's the dynamic that was set for me and my father. Those were his words when I was younger, because I used to be feisty. What can I say? I've always had a little zhuzh. What can I say? What can I say, guys? So that was that. That was when I was younger, because originally I'm from the Bronx. I'm from New York. Okay, so then I moved to Georgia and I started high school. And, that was different for me. That's a culture shock. You're away from everything, whatnot. But I adapted. I think I did all right. No problems. I did become a teen mom. I got pregnant in high school. I got pregnant when I was 16 years old. It was not planned by me. It's not planned. You know what I'm saying? I was just there for a good time, not a long time, all right? So I ended up getting pregnant. And of course, you're a teen mom, you're pregnant, you're scared, whatnot. This is where the story really goes downhill, guys. By the way, let me just give you a heads up. It really goes downhill. So I'm a teen mom. I'm pregnant. I'm afraid. My mother, who I consider her my mom and my dad. Kudos to the single mothers. That I feel is where a lot of people learn their strength from. Men, I know you've learned a lot from seeing your single mom struggle, and I salute you. Kudos, hats off to you for that. I know that's made a lot of men better men from that. Women, I know a lot of you. Unfortunately, a lot of us followed in our mother's footsteps and became singles moms. And some of us just, shit happens. But we learned our strength from our mothers, a lot of us single mothers, period. So with that being said, I got pregnant and my mom, she was like, well, it's your body, your decision. What do you want to do? And of course I was going to have my child. I was dealing with a lot. Because, my daughter's dad got scared and ran away. And me, I had just really started fucking, and here I am pregnant, So I decided to tell my dad that I'm pregnant when I'm about 5 months pregnant. So I'll never forget this day. This is another day, another experience with my father that sticks out in my mind. It was nighttime, and I was pregnant, clearly, and I was sitting on the steps, and I was very nervous about calling him and telling him because, we had never really had that great of a relationship. So, but I always wanted to repair our relationship, but it seemed like when I moved to Georgia, he really disappeared off the face of the earth. Okay. So I was like, well, this really might do a doozy. So, I was scared that's going to be another male figure in my life that could potentially abandon me, right? But fuck it. We going to tell granddad he going to be a granddad. So we call granddad and I tell him I'm pregnant and whatnot. And before he doesn't ask any questions. Matter of fact, he doesn't ask me any questions. He calls me a hoe. He tells me I probably don't know who my child's father is. I'm probably not going to graduate high school. Lord knows what I've been doing down there the whole time. I've probably been lying the whole time I've been down there. I've probably just been fucking around like it don't make no sense, basically. And me, I was shocked. And a side note about me, when I was younger, as a child, I think I suffered from childhood asthma, whatever, and I always had like kind of anxiety and stuff. So when that happened, it automatically triggered me into like a kind of mini asthma anxiety attack, because I still kind of had asthma in high school. Okay? Triggered me into one right there while I'm 5 months pregnant. On the steps. Yep, triggered me into an asthma attack, Dad. while I was pregnant. So after that, I was just crushed and heartbroken and stuff because I hadn't had any plans to drop out. I didn't think that I wasn't going to be anybody just because I made a mistake and got pregnant. I mean, why would my own father feel that way about me? You see what I'm saying? I came out of your nuts. I came out of your nuts, nigga. And that's how you feel? That's how you feel? So because I'm pregnant, I'm not going to be shit? Wow. Well, that made me feel great. So, after I got my breathing together because I didn't want to harm my unborn child and stuff, I decided I don't need that shit. I don't need that stress and drama. I don't need that bullshit. I don't need somebody telling me who I am and they don't even know who the fuck I am because once I left the state, they fucking forgot about me. Who does that? So I carried on smartly. What else could I do, guys? I carried on smartly with my life. Yes, I did. Daughter's father eventually came back, and I carried on with my life. He ended up getting incarcerated while my daughter was a baby. Before she was even 1 year old, he was locked up for life. 20 years, solid. Yes. 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 Mind you, I had also thought he was the love of my life at the time, and I was young, whatnot. So, that was shattered as well, too. Along with the father, I don't have a dad to go to. I don't have a dad I can go to and talk to and be like, Daddy, I need some comfort and whatnot. Because my dad basically fucking disowned me once he found out I was pregnant. Right? So, I had to learn how to cope with that. Which I thought I did. I thought I did. Because before I really truly learned how to properly heal, what I used to do is all these negative things that would happen to me, it's like I envisioned my mind to be like a hallway with just rooms on both sides. And anything negative that used to happen to me, because so many negative things happened to me in life that I was like, well, either I go fucking crazy or kill myself, or I got to do something with this shit. So I would just put him in the rooms in my mind and lock the door and never think about it again. So I put my dad in that room and I put all the other shit in that room and I locked the fucking door and I tried my best to move on, or so I thought. However, as the years went on, I started to realize the negative effects, because when they say that girls who grow up without a good father figure in their life will look for love in the wrong places, that is very true. That is very true. People may try to deny it, but it is true. And I think guys do it as well. It's not just females. A lot of times we categorize these sensitive subjects or actions and stuff to just females, but it's not just females. Men do it as well, because I know I did it. I was a bit promiscuous at one point in my life. I was not a hoe, but I was promiscuous though. I did. I was like a nigga. My homeboys used to say I was a dog. Put it like that. Period. Because I treated guys like how I felt like I had been treated from them. You know what I'm saying? Discarded. No big deal. That's how my dad did me. That's how my baby daddy did me. That's how all the impactful male figures that I had in my life did me. My grandfather was never really there because him and my grandmother were divorced. I didn't hear any good stories about him either. He was a player from the Himalayas too, because that's the Jamaican tradition to be like that. It's not fair and it's not right. And it's not healthy. You heard that honk? That's confirmation from source. It's not fair and it's not right and it's not healthy, because it damages us. It does things to us. And we think we're coping because I thought, because I wasn't out there being a hoe and, I valued myself and I thought I was the shit and I was handling niggas and shit like that. I thought I was coping well. But no, that is still hurt. That's still being displayed in a negative way. It is. It is. And it's not right. And I had to realize it, because at some point I realized it when I started realizing that I was becoming a narcissist, like around that same time. It's like you have to take a full evaluation of yourself and you really have to get down to the nitty gritty. You have to get down to the nitty gritty and be like, well, what's wrong with me? Why am I doing these things? Why are these things happening to me? Because on top of that, I mean, things just got fucked up. A lot of bad things happened to me from men in life. A lot. A lot of bad things happened. And I never had that father to protect me. I could never run to my father and tell him anything. Me personally, I've been sexually assaulted. I've been raped 5 times. 5 times by strangers and by people I know. Date rape, friends, all types of shit. I could never run to my father and say, Dad, this happened to me, because he already considered me a hoe because I was a teen mom. So how can I go and tell him anything? He's going to be like, oh, you deserved it, X, Y, and Z. But they don't think about things like that when they say things like that, do they? No, they don't think about the things that they're missing in their daughters' lives because they're not there, okay? No. All I remember is my dad being a player when I was younger. I told you, he used to pick me up and go stop and holler at bitches. I remember that shit. I remember that. So what do you expect? That does damage to people. And I had to learn how to heal myself because I didn't want the things that happened to me in life that were, you know what I'm saying, after effects or side effects from not having that great father that my brother lovingly posts about every year and details how he was there for him for everything and helped mold him into the great man that he is and all this other blah, blah bullshit that I know nothing about. I can't relate. I had to do that for myself. And ladies and gentlemen, it is possible to do it. It is, because it's a lot of people along my journey of healing and dealing with these situations and stuff. I have seen so many hurt people that have let their adult lives be affected because of the damage that their parents unknowingly or knowingly did to them. Because what I have realized is a lot of times these older generations, they didn't know any better. That's what they saw. That's what they saw. You know, however, I have tried numerous times to repair my relationship with my father. I will say, Empress Oracle is not going to lie to you about that. I have tried numerous times to repair my relationship with my father throughout the years. Every time has been a horrible failure. Every time. He is so arrogant. So arrogant. And his pride, I feel like that's what he has to hold on to because he know he failed as a father with his daughters. Guys, don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. Don't be that guy, okay? Because let me tell you something. Your daughters see your relationships that you have with the females around you, or lack thereof. And they take note to it. And they remember the little things and the big things, or the lack thereof. Okay? Definitely. I had to rationalize with myself in high school when everybody else had their fathers or could talk about their relationships with their dads or how their dads do just the littlest shit. I had to rationalize with myself and tell myself, hey, you can't really miss something you never had just because I never had that experience with my father. I didn't. My experiences, I remember when he used to come pick me up, besides going to see his bitches, he'd have hella lotto tickets. I have such an aversion to lotto because of him. Because all he would do would play his damn lotto tickets, holler at bitches, talk about eating jerk pork. That's it. You know? So things like that, they affect us. They do. They do. They affect us. I had to realize that certain things are not my fault. It's not healthy. It's not normal. And sometimes people just don't know how to apologize. Because whenever I would try to have conversations with him or call him, he would always turn the conversation onto himself. That's how you know somebody is arrogant. That is a narcissist. If I'm sitting there trying to repair the relationship, how did the conversation turn to about you and things that have nothing to do with us repairing our relationship? How does the blame all get on me and you are a grown man? Sometimes you're going to deal with people like that. Sometimes you're going to deal with people like that. And it hurts. Yes, it does. But you have to heal from it. The same way that I had to learn how to heal, and the same way, I feel like this is the final step of my healing because I am getting it out. This is a catharsis. This is a catharsis because it's a lot of females. I know you go through this bullshit too. I know that for a fact because my own dear daughter gave me some notes, some to point out in this here conversation for you guys from her point of view that I have for you guys. And it's unfortunate, it's sad. I did my best as a single mother with her. I think I did pretty well. You know, we all have our lapses in judgment and whatnot. She's young. However, her experience with her father, because although her father was incarcerated, still is, you know, I tried my best for them to have a relationship. Because although I could not communicate with my father healthily, I wanted my children to be able to do that with theirs. That didn't make me bitter. That didn't make me feel like all men are going to be the same way my dad was. I never felt that way. I always gave everyone the opportunity to be themselves and to prove me right or wrong. Always. As with her father. However, she wants me to talk about fathers who communicate or reach out to their children only to ease their own conscience or when they need their child for something. Because I feel like that is an issue that a lot of people can relate to as well. Fathers, if you know you haven't been the best father to your child, the best thing to do is not just to call them to ease your conscience, you know, because they're going to know that. And children are always, for the most part, going to have a certain level of respect for their parents. So they're not just going to talk about the elephant in the room blatantly right away. They're going to try to appease whatever it is you're saying and have the hope for more from you. It's up to you from there how you go with that conversation or with that relationship. However, changed actions and more interaction is what shows the true change in the behaviors, in the dynamic of the relationship between the parent and the child. You should not be calling your child only when you want something from them or when you want to, you know, inquire about their other parents. That shouldn't be it. You should build a relationship with your child no matter how late in the game. If you know you didn't do it right, if your child is grown, you can always go to your child and be like, hey, I wasn't the best. I fucked up XYZ. I personally have apologized to my children a few times for things that I felt like I could have done better. Period. Because I'm learning every day. I'm not perfect. I'm learning and I'm growing, and you are never too old to learn. Okay? And sometimes the things, how you grew up or what you thought was right, as you get older, you realize, okay, there may be a new way to do it or a better way to do it, or this may have affected them not the way that I thought. It's okay to apologize to your children, parents. It's okay. There's no such thing as age depicting whether or not somebody is worthy of an apology. Y'all got to put that pride to the side, because I know my daughter feels that way, and I know I definitely feel that way about my father as well. Or felt, because at some point when I got older towards like my 20s, I was just like, you know what? God is my father. He's the one who's always been there for me. He's the one I can always talk to. That's who I call daddy. That's who I just drive down the street. And, you know, whereas most of my friends, they would maybe call their dad or somebody, their boyfriend, somebody, and vent. I just talk to God. That's my father. And religion always brought me through everything in life. I went to Catholic school up until the 8th grade. I grew up in the church. Yes, I was a heathen from there on back, but I always kept God first and always talked to God and always had that relationship, and I always considered him my father. So that helped me a lot. That helped me a lot. And it doesn't matter if your children are grown and you know that you were not the best parent, you can sit down and you can have a man-to-man or woman-to-woman talk with them and just clear shit up. Don't think that just because you did not do good in somebody's childhood, that it's too late in their adulthood. The dynamics of the relationship will be different, however. You can't expect them to talk to you or treat you like they would a parent that has been actively involved in their life the whole time. There's going to be a different dynamic, but there should still be that love and that respect. And with that being said, I will always love and respect my father enough to just leave him right where he is and wish him the best out of love and light. Because people, when you realize that sometimes you and somebody are just not, something just doesn't align, you have to know to let it go. You do, regardless of who it is, and you just wish them the best. And you get your healing in any way that you see fit, as long as it's healthy and it's positive. Okay? So with that being said, I want you guys to just take into consideration what I said. I tried to make a long story as short as possible. I know it was lengthy, but I just wanted to really talk about that because I feel like I needed that for the last step of my healing, because I have opened all those doors and I have emptied out all those skeletons out of my closet for the betterment of myself and my higher purpose. And whatever way you guys need to do that, I would love for you guys to do it as well. You guys, be blessed. I love you, okay?